Community Bridges Incorporated provides assistance to the unhoused populations within Arizona. Their teams actively search for those in need and operate emergency shelters for those experiencing homelessness. They also provide community programs to help those struggling with substance abuse and mental health issues. Here with more, we welcome Anne Marie Johnson, the Senior Director of Housing and Community Integration with Community Bridges Incorporated. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I hate to ask the most basic question because I did a brief introduction there, but can you give us more details about what Community Bridges Inc. does?
Community Bridges really is designed to, my department works with the unsheltered folks. So we're out in the streets, we're doing outreach, we're connecting them to PCPs, to doctors, to any kind of counseling and groups. Really, every single individual has different needs, so whatever their needs are is what we're going to connect them to. And the ultimate goal is always outreach to shelter to housing.
Yeah, well, so obviously incredibly challenging. It's been a priority for many years to try to do something about it. In some ways, it seems as though the problem has gotten worse, but I'm sure there have been some improvements. Are there good stories you can tell us about where you've seen some progress in helping those who are unhoused?
I think the good stories come on an individual basis. So it's really just about when you get that win with somebody and they get it and they want help and they go to treatment, or you're walking them through their apartment with their keys and they've it's been 10 years since they had their own place to live. And those are the moments that really get you right here.
Yeah. Are there certain techniques that you've noticed that the organization has been using that really has made an even bigger difference and have some of those success stories?
Yeah, I think Community Bridges is a peer-based organization. And so a lot of the peers that work there were in recovery. So we know what it's like to be homeless, to go through substance abuse, mental health issues. And so when we're speaking to a client, it's really about building that rapport with them. And so when they say, well, you don't understand what I'm going through, we do understand what you're going through. And maybe not exactly in this moment, but something that we can relate. So we're able to use our own experience, strength, and hope to help guide them and really try to change their life for the better.
I would think trust is a pretty important word there.
It is. And sometimes when we engage with an individual, they don't want help, but we keep coming back. And maybe on that 10th time that we come back and they're like, hey, you really care about me. Yeah, we care about you. We want you to have a better life.
Well, that shared experience makes me think about that. Does that in some ways make it, I'm going to say easier, less difficult to gain that trust?
It does, because we can use our own experiences to really kind of get deep with that client and say, I too once lived like this, and this is how I changed my life around.
So is this outreach in one direction, or does an organization like this hear from folks that say, I know someone who might need your assistance? Does it work both ways?
It does.
Okay.
It does work both ways, yeah. So, and we get outreach calls from all over the place. So we've got, many outreach teams that are working out in the community, and some are focused on certain areas, some are focused on criminal justice, some are focused on just in and around the shelters, heat relief sites. So we have a lot of outreach teams that are just out there doing really good things.
You mentioned the heat relief. Does this effort, does the need for it become even more dramatic over, in the intro I read about how many 110-degree days we've had this summer.
Yeah.
That is brutal, and that is rough on people who are able to go to shelter and have air conditioning. What about those who are unhoused? How much does it make it more challenging in a summer like this?
Well, I mean, the heat reliefs actually provide them some cooling relief. They can come in, they can charge their cell phones, they can get some water, they can take a break from the heat, and then usually they go on about their day. But it does provide them with a spot to come in and just find that heat relief, the cooling station. So.
Yeah. This is not unique to the Valley, but affordable housing is really, really especially challenging. How does that affect what Community Bridges is trying to do?
Well, it's hard. It is hard because that's typically the move-on strategy for our folks that are in shelter and our folks that are, maybe have a rapid rehousing voucher. And then, with the lack of affordable housing out there, it does make it really, challenging to find that move-on strategy for them.
We have less than a minute, but I want to ask, how long have you been involved in this, and what made you want to play such a big part here?
So I've been with Community Bridges since 2012, and it's where I grew up. They gave me a chance, and I'm honored and grateful to continue to work for them and to help the individuals and meet them where they're at, because that's what somebody did for me.
Okay. Well, thanks for the great work and thanks for being here.
Thank you.